picture of what they're like? I mean, classic. My mother, whenever she's out, she strikes up conversations with everybody, anybody, whether she's met them or not, knows them or not, doesn't matter what they look like. My mother talks to people. And she'll know everything about a person in 15 minutes. Everything. Because she asks she's out, she strikes up conversations with everybody, anybody, whether she's very personal questions. Now, I'll tell you what really is interesting when I take her to a restaurant. That is something you need to experience. Because we go in a restaurant, and as we're being led to the table, my mother is saying stuff to everybody at these other tables who she does not know. Hey, how you doing? I hope you're enjoying yourself. Hey, that looks good. She'll just talk to people. And last time, she does this all the time, by the way. She stopped at a table, and she said, what are you eating? She said, are you here for some special occasion, or are you just going out to eat? The person said, I'm here for my birthday. She said, your birthday? How old are you? How old?
47.
47. Stand up. Stand up. She pulls up his glass and his spoon and bangs on it, gets everybody's attention and says, what's your first name?
Don.
Don is 47 today. Let's sing him happy birthday. Everybody's singing. Hey, sing! All right, so at the end of all this, she said, Don, sit down. Come on, what are you standing up for? She says, Don, introduce me to the woman you're with. You're?
Eileen.
Eileen. Hi, Eileen. Nice meeting you. Don, something was bothering me, and I wonder if you or Eileen can clarify this for me. Don, I noticed you had a wedding ring on, and Eileen, you didn't. Would one of you like to explain that to me? I've got time.
No, I only date married men.
So we eventually, and it's me saying, Mom, come on, I'm hungry. So we sit down, we order our meal, we're eating our appetizer, we get our main entree, and another couple gets seated next to us. We're on our entree now. My mother hears the person at this other table asking the waiter about certain items on the menu. And one of the items happened to be veal scallopini. And she said, excuse me, sir, were you just asking about the veal scallopini? It's good. It's good. I ordered it. It's good. Not as good as I make it at home, but it's good. I want you to have a good time tonight. Here, taste mine. Make sure you like it. And she makes the guy eat it off of her fork. Off of her fork. Oh, yeah. What, do you think I have germs? Eat it! By the way, if you were in that restaurant and my mother carried on a conversation like one of these, how many of you would have enjoyed it? Can I see your hands? All right, that's either Italians or socializers. How many would feel uncomfortable with what my mother was doing? Can I see your hands? Many more. That's interesting. Fact of the matter is, my mother doesn't care. She's going to come up to your table whether you like it or not. Point is, my mother, and I think this is a very crucial point, my mother loves people. She really does. She is incredibly outgoing, as you could tell. And she really believes that the way she acts with people is out of love. She is not trying, it's not even in her frame of reference that she would make somebody feel uncomfortable. She's thinking she's making people feel comfortable. But what she's doing is treating people according to the golden rule. She's treating people the way she would like to be treated, not realizing that in her desire to make people feel comfortable, she actually is having the opposite effect on many people and making them feel stressed and uncomfortable. So, let's go to the next style. Relators. Where are my relators? Relators. Their key desire, harmony, safety, security, close one-to-one relationships. Of all four styles, relators are the most people-oriented. Loyal, reliable team members, the glue that holds a team or a relationship together. I'll tell you this, you show me a marriage where one of the people is a relator, and I will show you a long marriage. Not necessarily happy, but long. They are incredibly loyal people. They do not like to rock the boat. They do not like pushy, aggressive people. So they have a tendency at times to go along with things even when they don't want to, because they don't want to speak up and, sort of rock the boat. Little things hurt their feelings. Now, they won't always tell you. They won't always show you. But when you hurt their feelings a little and you get out of their sight, they pull out their little book. They turn to the page with your name on it and add another check mark. Yeah. Thinkers. Where are my thinkers? Thinkers. Their key desire, order, accuracy, precision, perfection. Their motto, everything in its place and a place for everything. Their patron saint, Sergeant Joe Friday from Dragnet. Just the facts, ma'am, just the facts. They're the great planners, problem solvers, organizers. They're great at creating systems. They're highly inventive people. And of all four styles, they're the most intellectual. Michelangelo, Da Vinci, Einstein, thinkers. So I'll tell you this, without a doubt, without a hesitation, you want something done right, give it to a thinker. But if you want it done on time, think again. Thinkers procrastinate getting finished until it's perfect. Four basic styles, ladies and gentlemen. Directors, thinkers, relators, socializers. They do things differently. They have their unique strengths and weaknesses. Now, I can take almost any activity and show you how each style will perform that activity ever so slightly different from the other three. Let's take an activity that all of us probably engage in every single month. The monthly checking account statement comes in. The day it comes in, who will balance it that day to the penny, no matter how long it takes? The thinker. The day it comes in, the director. They never have time. They look for somebody. Roxanne, I don't have the time, the patience for this. I notice you do yours every month. Would you do mine? I'll give you $20. 25 max. They try to delegate it to people. The day it comes in, the relator waits for that evening to balance it as a family bonding experience. Socializer, the day it comes in, they look at it. What is this? Throw it in a box, in a drawer. How can I be overdrawn? I still have checks left. Every style, as I said, every style has their inherent strengths and weaknesses. But here's an interesting perspective about weakness. Sometimes when you take a strength and use it too much, it actually can, in fact, become a weakness. I call it overextension of strengths. So, with directors, they tend to control too much. Their strength is taking control, taking the lead. But sometimes they over-control and turn people off. Thinkers, they question too much. And you start wondering, don't you trust me? They get into all these minute questions. Relators, they agree too much. Socializers, they talk too much. Let's go even further. Management 101 basically says there are four basic skills every good manager of people, whether it's a manager of people in a business, even a manager of people in your own household, you should have four basic strengths. Four basic functions of management. Here's the irony. Each style masters one of those four strengths better than any other style. For instance, with directors, their mastery is controlling people, situations, processes. Thinkers, it's planning. They're the great planners. Relators, it's organizing, getting things all set up, organized, in the right order. And socializers, it's motivating people, getting people off the dime, motivated to want to do things. So, if you were putting a team together, what styles would you put on that team? All four. All four. Here's the unfortunate thing. Many businesses tend to hire people in the likeness of other people who are in the company. And it's a problem. I even did that. I had myself, my marketing person, and my secretary, all three of us, same style, socializers. We had a great time. How do they listen? Each style listens differently. With directors, they're very purposeful. If you're talking about something that they're interested in, they are all ears. And when you stop talking about something of interest to them, they are out of there. They actually will get up and walk out. They'll do other things. Thinkers are very analytical. Well, wait a second, wait a second. A little while ago you said this. Now you're saying that. Which is it? Relators are very empathic. How does that feel? I can't believe that happened. And what did you do? They get as much or more emotional about issues as you do. And socializers, they're very fickle. You know, 1 second they're like this. No, get out of here! When did... And then another minute they're like this. No, I'm listening, I'm listening. They're in and out, whether it's purposeful or not. What do they fear? This is important to understand, because this turns them off. Directors fear being taken advantage of. As soon as they feel that you are taking advantage of them, you are crossed off their list. That is it. You're done. Thinkers, criticizing their effort. They do not like criticism. Sudden changes for the relators. They don't like a lot of big sudden change. So what you have to do is break it up over a period of time. You know, a little bit each day. And socializers, they do not like rejection, especially social rejection or ostracism, not being considered part of the group, being, you know, pushed out of a group. They do not like that. That's big, big, big fears. How they set goals. This is crucial. And this is something that you should focus on, how each of these styles set goals. One more time, how many of you have children? This is important also, understanding if you have more than one child, knowing how to work through this with them, what their strengths are, what their weaknesses are, how they set goals. Sometimes we ask our children to set goals, or we help them set goals by whose yardstick? Our own. We have to understand that they do things differently. So, with directors, they favor goals that are productive and inexpensive. And typically, directors favor a single overriding goal. They like to work on one goal. Let me achieve it, then I'll move on to another. They don't like a whole list of goals. One big one. Thinkers, they favor goals that promote growth, accuracy, quality. Relators, goals that open opportunities for everybody involved, not just for themselves. They like, you know, the whole group. Everybody has to be involved in the goal. And socializers, loosely defined goals. They don't want to be tied down, and they often change. No, I want to do that. How about that? No, that's better. That. How they make decisions. Now, this is crucial in selling, isn't it? Directors, decisive. What they want, give them 2 to 3 options with brief supporting analysis, and then who makes the decision? They do. Now, I realize that in selling, we have all of these different techniques of closing, etc., and one is called the assumptive close, where you are, or a forced choice close, where you're basically forcing the close or a decision on somebody. They'll kick you out. It will not work with them. I mean, a single closing technique will not work on all 4 styles, I will tell you that. They like options with analysis, and they make the decision. Thinkers, they're very analytical. Give me all of my options, not 2 or 3. If there's 5, if there's 7, I want all the options. And then I'm going to do an entire Ben Franklin balance sheet of pros and cons, analyze each one, and then the logic of the situation will dictate which is the best option. No emotion comes into this. It's pretty clear, black and white. Relators, collaborative. How many people are going to be affected by this decision? Well, let's get all of them here and find out how they feel about it. And let's make sure everybody's on the same page. And socializers are spontaneous. If it looks good, feels good, smells good, let's do it. But I will tell you this. You ever hear the saying that the easiest people to sell are salespeople? And one of the reasons is most salespeople, the majority of salespeople, are socializers. And it's not that salespeople are the easiest to sell. That actually is not accurate. Socializers are the easiest to sell. But here's the problem with socializers. They frequently buy before they're sold. Now let that sink in. They buy before they're sold. And when people buy before they're sold, what does it lead to? Buyer's remorse. Bringing things back, sending things back. Let's talk about compatibility. Which styles get along best and which styles have the most difficulty getting along? What would you think? I think everybody has different opinions here. All right, here's 2 quotes. I want you to finish them for me. Opposites. Birds of a feather. Which one is more accurate? All right, so we have 2 different opinions here. Both are accurate, but it depends on the situation. So let's talk about work, working on a task, a goal. Opposites attract. And why is that? At work, on a task, opposite styles get along best.